The year is 1553, though you do not yet know it. You open your eyes and find yourself lying in a damp alley. The ground beneath you is not asphalt or concrete, but rough cobblestones slick with morning mist. The air smells of wood smoke, mud, and something harsher, like tallow or burning refuse. When you sit up, your hands come away dirty, and you notice the silence of the street. No humming of engines, no distant traffic. Only the sound of a cartwheel creaking and the muffled calls of a tradesman. You realize, slowly, that you are not in your own time. At first, this discovery feels like stepping into a storybook. The narrow houses lean inward as if whispering to one another, their timber frames crooked but proud. Women carry baskets of bread, children chase each other barefoot, and men in long coats hurry with tools at their belts. For a brief moment you think, perhaps this could be manageable. Perhaps you can explore, walk quietly, and wait until something, or someone, brings you home. But the truth begins to reveal itself quickly. You decide to speak to a passerby. A woman, middle-aged, her head wrapped in a linen coif, eyes sharp from years of work. You ask softly, "Excuse me, where am I?" The woman stops, frowns, and tilts her head. She studies your clothes. Modern fabric, strange seams, shoes without buckles. You realize too late that you stand out like a painted bird in a flock of sparrows. "Where are you from?" she asks. Her tone is not curious, but suspicious. Before you can invent an answer, two men glance over. They are carrying a sack of grain between them, yet their eyes linger on you. One whispers something to the other. They nod in unison, as though agreeing on a fact long established. It takes only a few minutes for rumors to sprout. In Tudor England, difference is not a curiosity. It is a danger. Your stomach growls. You have eaten nothing since yesterday, and the smell of bread from a nearby stall calls to you. You step closer, hoping perhaps you might buy or trade for a loaf. But you have no coins, no silver pennies, no groats. The baker, noticing your hesitation, narrows his eyes. "You've the look of one who steals," he mutters. You step back, hands raised, heart pounding. Already you see how survival is different here. In your own time, a day without money might mean hunger, but rarely danger. Here, theft, or even the suspicion of theft, can bring brutal punishment. So you walk on, stomach aching, forcing yourself to ignore the scent of roasted meat drifting from an inn. You try to stay quiet, to blend into the rhythm of the day. Yet everywhere you turn, eyes follow you. At midday, the church bell tolls. Its deep sound rolls across the rooftops, summoning the town toward the square. You follow, though part of you hesitates. The people gather, their faces solemn, expectant. You notice soldiers with halberds, their armor dull but heavy, and a wooden platform at the center. On the platform stands a man reading from a parchment. His voice is loud, certain, carrying authority. He speaks of loyalty to the crown, of sin and order, of those who stray from God's path. And then he says a word that freezes the blood in your veins: witchcraft. The crowd murmurs. Some nod grimly, others spit. Your mind returns to the stares you received earlier, to your strange clothing, your odd questions, your accent. In your own world, difference can make you interesting. Here, it can make you guilty. You try to edge away from the square, but already you feel the shift in air, the subtle way suspicion moves like smoke, finding the easiest path, curling toward the outsider. Afternoon darkens. Clouds gather heavy with rain. You find yourself cornered near the edge of the square, voices behind you. A hand seizes your arm, rough, unyielding. A man shouts, "This one!" Saw them muttering strange words. Look at their eyes, unnatural. Others join in. Their faces blur in your panic. Men, women, even children. Fear is contagious, and now it spreads like fire. You try to explain, to plead, but your words sound foreign, your accent strange. To them, it is proof enough. You are dragged toward a stone well at the edge of the marketplace. Ropes are wound around your chest, tight enough to burn. A crowd forms quickly, eager, buzzing with the thrill of judgment. Someone declares, "If they float, the devil holds them. If they sink, God claims them." The words strike you with cold clarity. This is no test you can survive. Float, and you are guilty. Sink, and you drown. The rope cuts into your skin as hands push you forward. The water waits, dark and merciless. You open your mouth to scream, but the sound is swallowed by the roar of the crowd. And then you are falling. The shock of cold steals your breath. The water rushes into your nose, your mouth, choking you before you can fight. You thrash, bound and helpless, vision blurring. Above you, faces loom at the rim of the well, eyes bright with fear disguised as righteousness. Time fractures. Each second stretches long, slow, endless. You wonder if this is where your story ends, not in your own world, not with family or friends, but here, beneath stone walls, in water that does not care who you are. Your lungs burn. Darkness presses at the edges of your sight. You cannot tell whether you are sinking or floating. Only the pull of the rope keeps you tethered. And then, fingers grip your collar. Strong hands haul you upward. You gasp, coughing, eyes wide with terror. The crowd gasps too, some murmuring prayers, others shouting curses. "See," a voice cries, "the water rejects them. They are guilty." You collapse on the stones, chest heaving, heart hammering. Around you, the verdict is already decided. But before the mob can act, a single figure steps forward. An older man, robes dark, face stern. He raises a hand, and the crowd falls into uneasy silence. "This is folly," he says, voice steady. "We are not beasts. We are not God. Fear blinds you." His eyes meet yours. For the first time since you arrived, someone looks at you not as a monster, but as a person. The crowd murmurs, uncertain. Some protest, others shift uncomfortably. Yet the man's presence holds weight, his authority woven into the quiet that follows. "Take them to the jail," he commands. "We will decide at dawn." It is not freedom, it is not safety, but it is a pause, a breath, a chance. The cell is small, damp, lit only by a sliver of moonlight through iron bars. You sit on straw, shivering, still wet from the ordeal. Each sound outside, footsteps, distant voices, the scrape of metal, makes you flinch. Yet in the stillness, you begin to think, to feel the weight of the day. The danger was not in swords or sickness alone, but in the way suspicion rules every corner of this world. Here, survival is not about strength or wit, but about belonging. And you do not belong. You close your eyes, whispering the names of those you love, hoping the sound of your own voice will carry you somewhere safer. When dawn comes, the door creaks open. The same older man stands there, his face unreadable. He says nothing, only gestures for you to follow. You step into the morning air. The town is quiet, mist rising from the river. People glance at you, but their expressions are tired, uncertain, softened by the long night. The man leads you to the edge of the fields, away from the houses, away from the watchful eyes. Then he stops. You do not belong here, he says. And if you stay, you will not live long. Go. Leave this place. You want to ask how, where, why. But before you can speak, the mist thickens. The world tilts, bends, and the cobblestones beneath your feet dissolve into the hum of traffic, the buzz of your own time. You are home. The air smells of gasoline and coffee. Your clothes are dry. The people around you glance at their phones, uninterested, busy. For a moment you are overwhelmed with relief. Yet the memory lingers. The well, the ropes, the water filling your lungs, the faces twisted by fear. You realize that in Tudor England, survival was not measured in days or hours, but in the fragile thread of trust within a community. Without it, you were never safe. And so you breathe deeply, grateful for the world you know. A world with flaws, yes, but also with mercy. A world where difference is not always a death sentence. You survived less than a day in Tudor England. And that, you understand now, was already far too long.